The Eagles are known for bringing back former players. They did it this year with Deshaun Jackson. But could the plan be to do it one more time? Could the Eagles bring back Connor Barwin?
Hail the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly. Scary Cooper, asshole! Oh, diva! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans.
Dallas still stinks.
Everybody, King Ding back here, and I hope everybody's having a great day, a great Sunday. It is hot, it is sunny here in Las Vegas, and I am going in that pool in a little bit. Matter of fact, I got the kids screaming at me right now to go to the pool. But before I do that, I wanted to make this video. And if you see that giant dog in the background, that's the dog that scared the crap out of me the last time I was here. Yo, everybody, King Ding back here. So today we have come with the hell is that? It's a big ass dog. And this is a good dog, by the way. It's a good dog. But I wanted to come on and I wanted to make this video. And I wanted to make a video at the request of some of my subscribers who asked me to talk about the Connor Barwin situation. And for those of you that don't know, the Connor Barwin situation is basically this. On Wednesday, Connor Barwin posted on his Instagram a picture of himself at Lincoln Financial Field in the press box office. Now, this started a lot of speculation that Connor Barwin would be possibly having a workout with the Eagles, maybe coming back to the Eagles. And I wanted to talk about this, give you my thoughts, and tell you if I think he should. Now, we all love Connor Barwin. He is a great guy by all accounts. He has done tremendous work in the Philadelphia community, and he's just a good guy in general. You gotta love Connor Barwin. He was with the Eagles 2 years ago. Last year he was with the Giants. The year before that he was with the Los Angeles Rams, and then the year before the Rams he was with the Eagles. Now, he missed out the year we went to the Super Bowl. I kind of felt bad for him because I know it was bittersweet. He did not want to leave Philly. He loved playing for the Eagles, and it had to be hard for him to watch the Eagles go on to win a Super Bowl. And now he's a free agent after playing last year with the Giants. And last year with the Giants, he had played 26% of the snaps, and he had 1 sack. Now, do I think he's a good replacement for Chris Long? Is he the guy to fit in as that 4th defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles? Now, I have a couple different thoughts on whether or not the Eagles should bring back Connor Barwin. The first thing that I'll say is, does Connor Barwin fit the 4-3 defense? Is he going to fit in at that defensive end position and be able to do an effective job? In the past, he did not fit or do well in the 4-3 system. He was always better playing in the 3-4 as that outside linebacker. But in a situation where he comes back to the Eagles and he's only needed, let's say, in 3rd and long situations just to rush the passer, he may be able to do that, and he may be able to do it effectively. He had 1 sack, like I said, with the Giants last year. The year before that with the Rams, he had 5 sacks, and he played in over 60% of the snaps. I think it was somewhere around 61% of the snaps. The year before that, he played with the Eagles. He had 5 sacks. So he had 5 sacks with the Eagles, 5 sacks with the Rams, and 1 sack with the Giants. I believe he's 34 years old, and I don't know that he is the perfect guy to bring in for that 4th defensive end spot. I really don't. I personally would try to go a little bit younger, go with somebody who could be a little more effective. But before I would even do that, this is how I would approach Connor Barwin's situation, okay? If the Eagles brought him in to work out, which we don't know, he could have just been visiting. I mean, he has connections in Philly, so I'm sure he could have just been there for whatever reason. But let's say the Eagles are thinking about bringing him back. If I'm the Eagles, this is how I would go about the Connor Barwin situation. This is what I would do, okay? I would wait until training camp, preseason. I would do nothing. I wouldn't sign him. the first thing I would do is give an opportunity to my young guys, Josh Sweat, Sharif Miller, Joe Osman. I would give them the first crack at winning that fourth defensive end spot. I would give them every opportunity to win it. They've been there all off season. They've been working their tails off. They've been trying and fighting to get that job, to win that spot. And they deserve the first crack at it. Now, let's say you get into a situation where you get to, let's say, week 2 of preseason, and nobody's impressing you, nobody's winning the job, nobody's taking the bull by the horn. And then it's time, at that point, I think, to maybe look elsewhere, to look outside of the roster, to see who could be available to fill in as a fourth defensive end spot. Now, let's say something miraculous happens where Jadeveon Clowney could become available and you could upgrade that whole defensive line with a dynamic player like that. Of course, I would look into those opportunities. But even though those probably won't happen, they're very unlikely, you still gotta do your homework and try. But let's say that they don't happen, it's not going to happen, which is most likely that they won't. Then I would sit there and I would look at other guys I could bring in, and if I can't find anybody who's an upgrade over the guys that I have on the roster, then I would consider bringing in Connor Barwin as that fourth defensive end, and I would make sure that he plays in only situations where they're third and long and they're surefire pass rush, situations, because I really don't think he really fits the 4-3 defense that well. That's why the Eagles let him go. But if it's only to rush the passer and in certain situations, then I think he would be good. Now, the one thing I really like about Connor Barwin, the one thing I really like about having him is his leadership. He provides leadership. He's a good veteran. He could teach those young guys some stuff. And, he provides some leadership that you lost with Chris Long. You get that back with Connor Barwin. And look, he could come in right away and fit in with the Eagles. He knows the team, he knows the locker room, he knows the city, and it would be an easy transition for him. So I really like those aspects of it. But I think you got to give the young guys the first crack at this thing. I think we have to have some faith in the draft, the guys we've drafted, the guys we've brought in, and let them have a shot. I think the fourth defensive end spot can be won by Josh Sweat, Joe Osman, Sharif Miller. Look, here's how I see it. Chris Long gave you, I believe, 6.5 sacks last year, which is really good. Okay, he gave you, I think, 5 the year before. I'm not sure exactly what he did in 2017. Connor Barwin, at his best as a fourth defensive end pass rusher that would come in for the Eagles, he could do 4 or 5 sacks. I believe Josh Sweat is capable of 4 or 5 sacks. I really do. I think he can get that within a year. So, yes, I think that only in the right situation, only if nobody's winning that job, would I consider bringing Connor Barwin. Now, I like Connor Barwin. I like him as a player. I like him as a person. He's a great guy. But I think that those young guys are good enough and talented enough that they can win the job. And if the Eagles go into training camp and preseason, giving those guys opportunity, I think they'll do enough to win that spot instead of having to go out and bring a veteran like Connor Barwin. But if the Eagles did decide to bring Connor Barwin back to Philly, I would not mind at all, because I'm a Connor Barwin fan. I like the guy. He's a great guy. He would provide great leadership, in the locker room, and maybe they want to do it just for that reason alone. So it's an interesting situation. I don't know what to make of him being there. He, like I said before, he could just been visiting people. He could just be there for any other reason, you know what I mean, and just stopping by. The Eagles have said nothing about working him out or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see what it is. But I think that the first thing you have to do, the first step, is to give the guys on your team the first crack. Second thing is to see if you could find somebody who would be an upgrade to those guys. Then the third thing is to bring in Connor Barwin. That's how I kind of look at it. What do you guys think? I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys think. I know a lot of people out there really like him, really like the guy he is and the player he was, and I respect that. But I think that the Eagles have the guys on their team that can fit that fourth defensive end spot, and I think they deserve the first crack at it. With that said, let me know what you think in the comment section. Take care. Talk to you later. It's time to go swimming. Are you ready, Onyx, the big dog? Let's go. Take care. Don't be a dingbat.